Hi, welcome to the Biker Protocol channel. I am Picasso with the Eagle Riders MC. I'm here with
Hollywood with Black Patch MC.
So we're going to talk today about punishments, about how your club might hand down punishments for infractions of any variety of different things, and how your club deals with it. And we're going to talk about some stories of things that have happened to us, things that have happened to other clubs. And you probably see that I'm wearing something interesting. Yeah, he's laughing at me. So I'm going to share with you one of the things that our club does when we hand out a punishment for something. And there's a variety of different ways and reasons why you may have to hand out a punishment for somebody. And it might be for something really silly. It might be something for really important, right? So I'll give you an example to start off. Like, for example, if you're late to church, right? We're having a club meeting and they're always important, and you show up late. Yeah. So we always start our meetings right on time. I don't know if you guys do. We start promptly. And, we do all of our meetings with, they always start with, we do a roll call, we do a pledge of allegiance, and then we do a moment of silence for our fallen brothers, and then we start our meeting. So if you're late to that meeting, there is an infraction, right? And so, everybody knows. And a lot of the penalties, and some of these are imposed by my VP, who he's great. And, he came up with some of these ideas because people started coming in, a minute late, 2 minutes late, and their door gets closed, the sergeant at arms stands there. And you got to knock to come in, and you got to be, everybody gives you an ugly stare. Yeah. So, a couple times we do penalties in weird ways. Sometimes it's nothing complicated at all. It might be, hey, you're 5 minutes late. You got to throw $5 in the kitty for the clubhouse, right? So it might be just like, and not like a huge fine, but just a little something to remind yourself, I screwed up, So showing up late to church, that might require a little, financial penalty. It goes to the club, and, things like that. So I'll get into what I'm wearing here. So this is what we refer to as the necklace of shame. And one of the things we've learned a long time ago, it's got like rattles in it. I think I have like a little rape whistle. I'm not going to blow it because it's probably disgusting. God knows what's on that. Yeah. So here's our rule, right? So whenever you do something like stupid on a ride, and we, it got a little exaggerated for a while. If like you're doing so, like if you make look, if it were something like simple infractions, I'd have to go to bed with this thing because, I make wrong turns and, I get lost on my own driveway, right? So if I'm leading a ride and I get to, make a wrong turn somewhere, like I said, I'd be wearing this nonstop. But if it's something major, like for example, leaving your cell phone back on a ride, we've had that happen, or, where you're holding up the club, maybe you're doing something that might embarrass the club in some way. You say something stupid, things like that. Maybe you're not watching your prospect enough. It could be maybe you go on a ride and then you forget to gas up, things like that. So now we got to go look for a gas station because you forgot to top off your tank, little things like that. So if it's something that you've done as an infraction, all right, we had one guy get this because he forgot to chin strap his helmet. So we're all riding down the highway and his helmet flew off. So we had to go back and find it. And, so the necklace of shame, this is how we do this. We've discovered that no matter what we financially penalize people, it has nowhere close to the impact as it does with shaming somebody. Yeah. So the rule is, and it's got like monkeys on it. You can see, right. We can get the camera on me here. Here we go. So it's got like little monkeys on here and a little whistle. Okay. So the rule is that when you screw up, right, you have to wear this for the next 3 rides, and then you have to wear it every time we have church. Until the next person screws up, then you get to hand it to them, right? So of course, whoever's got this thing is like making a big effort to get rid of it. Yeah. But this is the necklace of shame. And so, it's a great conversation piece when we're on a ride somewhere and we're at a bar and somebody's got to wear this thing. And, then somebody asks, why are you wearing that? It's like, oh, well, I screwed up. I did something silly. But I'll guarantee you one thing, you'll never forget that you did it, and you'll never do it again, right? So like I said, a little bit of shame goes a long way. So the necklace of shame, I had to wear this. And I had to get this, by the way, from one of our members who has been, I think he's had this for about a year now. He's had to live with this thing for a long time. Yeah. Okay. It's like, we all have had some minor hiccups here and there, but I think he's had it, and then he had to give it to somebody and he got it back. So
are you going to give it back to him?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm not wearing this. Not wearing this at all. Oh yeah. Necklace of shame. No way. It's going right back to him. So yeah.
I mean, for the most part, I get what you're saying with shaming. Yeah. I mean, money, people, we've had it. We have, our fines, you're late to church or whatever. They just come in and here you go. And then they just every day or every church late, they don't care. And you could even rack those fines up, and some people just don't care.
No. That's true too.
Yeah. And then you have to go to further punishment, whether it be so we've got shaming, but also what about um
Oh, it could be a
words
big thing.
escape
Yeah.
my mind, but holding their cut. Now
Mhm.
your cut's ours for a little bit,
Yep.
or you lose a rocker or whatever it
Right.
be.
Or sometimes what we've done is, like, for example, let's imagine you leave you're at a restaurant, right? We're at a bar
Mhm.
or restaurant, you put your cut over your chair and you go up to use the restroom. We'll swipe that cut, and then at the next church, you don't get it back. And
Yeah.
then at the next church, you have to stand up and tell everybody what you did, and
Mhm.
then you have to ask for it back.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and
So
I'm telling you, man, that's a hard piece of,
the
crow to eat, right? So,
everyone thinks that you get these things, these patches, and they're just yours forever,
yeah.
no matter what you do. And there's a common phrase. It's probably not so common because I see it not happening all around. But once you become a member is when you start to prospect. So
Right.
once you're a member, it's harder to keep the cut than it is as a prospect where you're just following orders.
Mhm.
And so that's part of it.
Right.
It's the club's property. It can be
Correct.
taken from you and held captive essentially until you either shape up or you can be demoted.
Mhm.
If you're an officer and the other officers get together, however it works in your club, you can be demoted. It's not yours forever. Your
Correct.
officer position isn't yours forever, and your cut isn't yours forever. It's all part of the club hierarchy.
Right, and it's also how you represent, let's say, for that officer position, and our club's
Yeah,
gone through hiccups like that in the
yeah.
past. Not to say that the people aren't good people, but maybe just they did something that didn't represent the club properly, or they
Mhm.
didn't represent the officer position
Yeah.
properly. Those things happen. But more importantly, it's usually something kind of like you said, and a lot of times it's just you made a good point. It's like when you're prospecting, you're following the rules that your sponsor or the club is giving you.
Yeah.
So it's easy to kind of follow that. Once you're a Patchen member, you're expected to know all of this stuff.
Yeah,
And so when
exactly.
you make an infraction, it's mostly just as a reminder that you should have known this,
Mhm.
and that's why we don't need to have big penalties. Like I said, it could be a $5 fine, right? But
Yeah.
it's just something to, hey,
Kinda like
it's a reminder, hey, dude. Yeah.
yeah,
But it could be
exactly,
something like
yeah.
you got to ask for your patches back. So
We've had, members that have, in the past, and even prospects that kinda created new, like, bylaws and rules because and hate using that word rules because, everyone says we're in a lifestyle
yeah,
of, like,
kind of a
no
guy.
rules,
Yeah.
rebel. But where, like, we've had members that have done some things, like, kinda like this, where they've always been wearing the shame necklace
Yeah.
essentially, right? And so it's like, "Alright, we need to put something in the bylaws about this. This needs to be taken more seriously,
Sure.
and here's the penalty for it," and so forth. I mean, I don't know, and if you don't wanna answer, is this part of your bylaws
No,
or more of
it's
like
not. It's more
a
of an
kind of like
unwritten
yeah,
rule.
so
Yeah. So
and
yeah.
there's a lot of those. There's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with that.
No.
But, yeah, we've had those ones where, like, it's going in because you guys are not listening
Right.
or
And
that
we
one
do have
person.
some of those things in our bylaws,
Yeah.
right? So this is not really one of those. It's more of like a fun thing, but we
Yeah.
do have rules in our
Of
bylaws.
course,
Yeah,
the
oh,
more
for sure.
serious ones,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, and those are fun, like, we've joked around it, we never actually went through with it, which I kinda regret because it would've been fun. We always, one of our ex, founder and president, retired now, he would always when someone would complain or a group of the guys would be like, "I don't wanna go ride, it's too cold," or whatever, he would say they were having a pink panty party. That was like the catchphrase, like, "Oh, you having a pink panty party?
That's
Don't
great.
ask me where you got it from." But we always joked about, like, getting either some sort of pink panties or maybe a pink vest you had to wear or something to in the same
Sure.
essence of, like, you screwed up, so, like, now everyone's gonna know. So, but we never went forward with it. I wish
Maybe
we
maybe we
did.
should get a pair of pink
Yeah.
panties and they have
We've
to
got a few
ride with them
oth
on the bike or something.
we've got a few other things. We have kind of, I wanna say a little more, um, not shaming, maybe more physical kind of, punishments, I guess you could say.
What do
So,
you mean?
uh
If you don't want to explain,
yeah,
it's fine.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'll leave
Okay.
that be. But, just things that, like, try to everyone has their, like, okay, doing push-ups,
Oh,
I
okay.
if you're able to, not every member is physically fit. Well, the
Sure.
hopes is you take care of yourself to do that, but, you screw up, 10
Drop
push-ups
and
or
give me
something.
10.
Yeah,
Okay.
type
Sure.
thing. So, like military type
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. Sure. For sure.
Because it's also helping you, but also making sure you remember.
It's
But
a little bit
yeah,
hazing, but it's
yeah,
also, but it makes you remember the protocols
of course.
that why you're in this culture.
And
So
that kinda leads into, like, we did a video on prospecting or a few, I think,
yeah, we've done a couple of them.
variations
Yeah.
of it, hangarounds, and that's, like, part of prospecting. You have kind of the rules of, like, prospects do this, or they even probably get shamed more.
Oh yeah.
Hazed, I should say.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
And those kinda, I think, live on because, a lot of members or prospects that become members will carry that torch, and
Sure.
even do it on other members and stuff. It kinda becomes that camaraderie aspect, which it's funny. You get a
Oh, for
laugh.
sure.
It's not really putting anyone
No, it's
down.
not. It's not
But,
designed to be mean.
yeah,
It's more or less just look. It's a bunch of family members getting together, having fun, a little bit of
yeah,
fun at somebody's expense usually, but it's also as a reminder of, hey, this is
yeah,
why we're in this
yeah,
culture, right? So
yeah.
these are the guidelines that we are agreeing to. So yeah.
What do you think you guys have any punishments?
I'm sure. Yeah,
No,
I'm sure there's going to be some fun ones in the comments on
yeah.
this. Yeah, if you're in a club and you've got some fun ones, we'd love to hear.
And
Yeah,
I think there's a lot of clubs that probably wouldn't answer, but I would
yeah,
say also, just things maybe you're out camping with buddies, not even if you're not
yeah.
even in a club. What are some fun things that you guys um, did to each other to razz them or whatever?
Yeah.
Punish them, like the guy who dropped his beer or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
Ran out of gas too many times. We've had too many of those.
I'm guilty of that. Yeah.
We had a guy that he had a can. He'd always carry because he rode a little sporty,
Uh-huh.
and then I got 80 miles to the tank, and he had a can, and I swear every annual we did, he would drop that full can. He would use it. We'd get to the next stop, the gas station. He'd fill up his tank and the can, and I swear to God, every time he would drop that thing off the
Really?
bike as we were riding, we'd see it hit a semi.
Ooh, that's
yeah.
not good. Yeah.
Yeah, and so that was a fun one.
My biggest closest story like that was we were riding back from Sturgis one year, and my tank was getting lower. It was a couple motorcycles ago, and I'm looking at my gauge, which was not really accurate, and I'm like, yeah, I can make it to the next
Yeah.
next gas station, and then we're coming up over a hill, and I'm like on vapors, right?
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. I'm guilty of this. So we're coming up over this hill, and I can see about a half a mile down the road there's a gas station on this hill. I'm like, oh, perfect, great. And right as like I'm mentally thinking this, bike dies, right? And I'm just like, and I didn't have enough momentum to get over the hill. And I'm just like, oh man. And one of my tail gunner in the club he carries a little tank with him, right?
Yeah.
So this was my punishment was I'm dumping this into my, a little quart
Yeah.
thing of gas, right? And I'm filling it up in my tank, right? I'm like, oh, thank goodness he's got this thing. It's great. Get me to the next gas station. And as I'm pouring it in the tank, I said, when was the last time you filled this thing? He's like,
no.
oh, like 3 years ago.
Oh God.
And I'm like, oh,
That's
no.
what you get.
Yeah, that's what I get. So the bike, I'm not kidding you, it took about 3 full tanks to finally clean it out of
Oh,
the system.
geez.
But just getting to like a half a mile, it was like chugga, chugga, chugga. And oh man, the bike was freaking out. Oh yeah.
That's how you get the name Fumes.
Yeah,
You
right,
better watch
vapors,
yourself
or
on that
yeah,
one,
right, yeah.
Uh,
The jokes kind of write themselves,
yeah.
right? But these little rules or little punishments are there for a reason, right? And so sometimes it's about having a little fun. And it's also about understanding the culture and the protocols that we have within this culture. So listen, thanks for watching. Please leave in the comments a couple comments on maybe some like little funny penalties that you've run into over the years. And if you haven't done so, please like and subscribe to this channel. It really helps us out a lot. We're just about 3,000 or 2,000 subscribers now.
Yeah.
So, the channel's growing and we really appreciate all of our viewers, and helping us out. So please like and subscribe. We will see you on the next video. Have a great one. Peace. Oh, we got to do our shot. Hold on. What? Oh,
Another mystery.
you're going to love this. Hold on. I got the bottle here. Okay. So he doesn't know what this is. So we're taking turns poisoning each other. All right. So cheers. See if you figure out what it is by smelling it.
Ugh.
Yeah. I went to the gas station. I said, give me the worst stuff you got.
Is it icy hot?
Nope. It kind of smells like, oh my God, is that awful? This is called
You really,
99 bananas.
it does smell like bananas. It
Yeah.
does smell like bananas.
I've never heard of this before, but oh goodness, is it not so?
It kind of smells like the candy, the runts.
Yeah,
bananas.
right. Yeah, it does. Yeah. Not
Anyways,
bueno.
yeah.
It's not as bad as some of the other stuff we've done, but yeah.
Peace.
Yeah. Have a great one. Keep the shiny side up.